probably be a farmer.
All Black.
Yeah, I was an accountant for a while, so I suppose I'd have to go back to the office desk.
Probably a pastry chef.
Probably should have been at school longer for this one, I don't know.
School teacher.
I don't know, like my family's big in rugby, but I think I'm just a little bit small for that. But yeah, something in sports along those lines anyway.
Probably just finishing school. Not much else I could do, I don't think.
Pass.
If I wasn't in racing, I think I'd like to be a chef.
Probably working for Trackside.
Back in radio, maybe? Watch.
I'll be a triathlete.
Seriously?
No.
Well, if we're heading down that road, I might as well crack codes for Nesta. If he's going to be an triathlete.
No, I'd work in breweries.
Breweries?
Yeah.
Back with the breweries.
Yeah, back with the breweries.
All right, welcome back to Weigh In. We'll continue our review now of New Year's Day, and we'll touch on, first of all, the Group 2 NZB Royal Stakes. Now, Vavasor started the favourite here. In the end, it was Savoy, the 8-carat winner from Boxing Day, that toughed it out. Butch?
Yeah, it was. Look at this, though. This is where all the trouble eventuates, where grabbed a heel there, and then the next one went over the top. Grillsy was pretty keen to get back to the inside. I thought he was going to come around Vavasor, but got back to the inside, got a stablemate. Look, she's a good filly, make no mistake. It's a tough thing to do, win a Royal Stakes 8-carat double, and they've really cleared out from the rest of them. They're both very good fillies, and yeah, I think you can follow both of them with some confidence.
Oh, without no doubt. I mean, Murray's had an opinion of the winner for a while, hasn't he? And
yep.
She's won 3 out of her last 4. The only time she's beaten was at Tarapa the day there was a terrible track bias and nothing could make up ground. She's won, 3 out of the last 4. So Savabeel filly, she's just going to keep getting better and better too.
And an Oaks trip's going to be no problem to her. She was very strong on the line, as was Vavasor. Both of them first time over ground. Yes, the interference probably accentuated the margin back to third, but they were clearly superior for mine. And they'll be 2 fillies that you'd imagine would take a path through the Sir Tristram Fillies Classic through to the Oaks.
Yep, very competitive.
Let's talk about the fall. Grillsy's copped $1,000 in a month out. Thoughts?
Lucky.
Yeah, look, I would have thought that that's more than fair. He's got both the stablemates are the 2 that he's got, would you believe? He certainly came back in very sharply. He admitted his guilt. Jonathan, I know when he came back to scale, was adamant that the Kensington Oval was going well enough to finish in the money. Gee, they're tough, these jockeys, though. Like, really, they are very, very tough athletes. There's some wag commented at the races, there's not many jobs that you go to that the ambulance follows you around, and that puts it into perspective, because that's what happens, and they're tough.
Yeah, well, fortunately, no one was hurt, and Craig copped a month and a $1,000 fine, and I think, in my eyes, it might be a little bit light, but I mean, there's no malice involved. Like, no jockey goes out there to put anyone down on purpose. Like, Craig's probably one of the nicest blokes in the world, but it's just unfortunate that it happened, and thank God everyone's all right. But
I think the fact that it's this time of year where there's the 2 days, big premier days of the Wellington Carnival, there's the Crack a Million night where there's 1.25 million or something up for grabs. It's a pretty big penalty, but I think probably a fair one.
Yeah, I don't think the decision need to be swayed by what racing's around though and what the prize money is, should it?
I think
just because there's better racing around, they're going to be lenient on them, so you can.
No, I'm not suggesting they're being lenient, but I that's what I have a real issue with the fact that riders at the moment are penalised, whether it be a midweek day at Taupo or a Premier Day. I think that there should be a system that says a Premier Day's worth 3 points and a midweek day 1 point, and if it's a 12-point suspension, you add up the types of meetings coming up, because clearly there's much more opportunity for them to earn money on Premier Days than there are on midweek days. So I think that our system of days goes back to the old days when there was one form of racing.
Okay. Diadem started the favourite in the Group 2 Rich Hill Mile. Was the stablemate, though, Twiggy. Saki Soldier, that won again.
Geez, he's a very good horse, isn't he? 5 in a row now. He's got a great will to win. Even Murray stayed after the race. He said he's a better horse than I thought he was, so he's obviously pretty relaxed around the stable. But he's a serious racehorse, and I think Murray says he might be going to the paddock now, I think, and he'd be a well-earned break because he's done a big job, hasn't he?
Well, not many do what he's done.
No.
What'd you say, 5 in a row?
Yeah.
And look, he does have that tremendous will to win. We saw him, was it that day at Avondale? A Counties Cup day, was it? At Avondale, we reviewed it, and the turn of foot that he showed that day was just phenomenal when he picked up, I can't think what it was, more of Murdoch's colours, and just dropped it.
King Cravar.
Yeah, and just dropped him in. And look, probably wasn't the real turn of foot on New Year's Day. He ground his way to the line, and yeah, he's a really, really good horse.
Jeez, second horse, can't it run second?
Yeah.
Oh, be frustrating, wouldn't it?
Wouldn't it?
Yeah.
That was a good result too for Baker Forsman, and we've already alluded to over many weeks of this show that the team's on fire, and that took them up and over 50 wins and clearly lead the premiership, which is
They're
fantastic.
flying, aren't they?
Yep.
They're flying.
And a lot of them at the highest level too.
They had 17 runners at Ellerslie.
On New Year's Day?
Yeah. 17 runners.
Stephen Marsh, I think, had 10 or 11, you know, targeting these bigger stables, targeting those days. It's great to see.
My word.
Let's have a look at the Group 3 City of Auckland Cup. This was won by a 9-1 chance in Delago's Secret, prepared by Roger James and ridden by Danielle Johnson. And Butch, pretty good effort after dipping at the start.
Yeah, it was a really good effort. Look, ground out a strong win. I thought Surpass was going to achieve that amazing double for the Ryans, but Delago's Secret just kept on finding probably the pull in the weights, the secret in the end. Mard, of course, on the corner by that fall, and thankfully Michael McNabb is going to be okay out of it. Look, he's obviously shaken and was concussed and things, but gee, it was travelling too, the fire inside. You don't like to say they're going to be in the finish when they fall, but gee whiz, it was travelling, and he'd given it a peach of a ride up until that point. But Delago's Secret had gone some good races in those lead-up cups, and
It was
showed
one of the only horses all day that made ground on the
That's right.
Tarapa
Middle
track.
of the track.
You pointed it out, Daryl. It was a great run, and was obviously, ready to win on New Year's Day. And
You're looking at... Sorry.
The Delago Secret, he's just got no gate speed, has he? He just refuses to get into a gallop early, and looks like if he did it the tough way, he sat 3-4 deep and circled them. He's a good horse. I think he's going to the paddock too, Roger said, after the race.
You look after Nebba's rides, and he was just starting to get a little bit of momentum back, and his weight was really low for him. He would have been gutted. Yeah,
he's disappointed. I mean, he's ridden. He won on Light Shadow 2 starts ago at Ellerslie, and then he got suspended, and there he is there. Geez, look at that. He's Quasimodo, isn't he? That's average. Feel sorry for his missus. But then on Saturday, obviously having the fall, he's back again. He's out for 3 weeks, and it's just a shame because he's really in the zone, and his weight's the best it's ever been, and he was riding 53.5 on Saturday, and now he's just got another. It's been 1 step forward and 3 steps back for him, but no, it's character building. He'll be right. He'll be back.
He rode his 100th winner, I think, wasn't it? On Light Shadow, I think was his 100th. In fact, I'm sure it was. The message came through that it was his 100th winner. So
he'll be back. He'll be back on the 23rd. Is his first day back, and then he'll have Light Shadow and a Belinda at Cracker Millions nights. There'll be a couple of nice rides for him.
In those special conditions races.
Yeah.
Just a quick thing. The distribution of prize money for a day like Ellerslie, the Group 3 City of Auckland Cup was worth $200,000, which is the same as the Group 1.
Yep.
And $100,000 more than the Group 2s.
So New Zealand Thoroughbred Racing decided that they wanted to put some money into staying races. So the City of Auckland Cup was one of those targeted by New Zealand Thoroughbred Racing. We as a club matched a little bit of money as well. They felt that staying races were dropping away, and the Waikato Cups, the Manawatu Cups, they were all raised to $100,000, and the City of Auckland Cup was taken to $200,000. So.
Okay. And obviously the wantonness to upgrade it potentially to a Group 2 at some stage?
No, it only dropped to a Group 3 this year. I mean, our argument was surely you'd give it another year at Group 2 status when you put the money in, but the academics decided that wasn't going to happen. But I thought that it's probably had more depth to it form-wise than it had for the previous couple of years. Surpass coming out of the Waikato Cup and those things. But yeah, that's why it was at 200,000. NZTR targeted some of the staying cups to try and to get the performance of stayers back up there.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry, just quickly, what was Leith's thoughts on King Cravan in that race?
I think he said he might have just come to the end of his prep.
It's a little bit disappointing, eh?
Very.
Because he got home real good at Tarapa.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at the Group 3 Eclipse. Marky Mark for Maura Murdoch and again Leith Innes, denting a few reputations here, Butch.
Wow, did he ever? Geez, just a competitive horse. Look at him, he's not overly big, but it's all racehorse. Pins his ears back and dented a number of reputations. His win was really good on debut. He rounded up a good filly of Richard Collett's that's in tomorrow at Ruakaka. But here, Maritimo's unbeaten, and he was just determined to the line. He's not a Karaka Million horse, so he'll be aimed at the 2 Group 1s, but yep, he's all racehorse.
Second horse was a super run. Geez, she was very aggressive. She was fresh. It's the first time she's raced for 8 weeks. She'll take massive improvement out of it. And for mine, I think she's still at the top of the Karaka Millions list for mine. For me.
Shaping up as a...
Recanto and Winborn, they were disappointing, you thought?
Yeah, I thought they probably were a touch. Yeah. I'd look the run of Nigel's horse Showboy. I thought it was good enough from a Karaka Million perspective.
Okay. I wonder whether he's sharp enough for a Karaka Million. He just gets off the bridle, hits a flat spot before the point of the turn and takes a while to wind up. But that filly Rogies, if she, I think...
Yeah, she was super.
Yeah, and like she was fierce in the running and...
Can't take much away from the winner though. Like he was just good, wasn't he?
Oh yeah, geez, you'd be a lovely 3-year-old.
Yeah. Yeah. But good for McPhee as well. Like leading into the sales.
Stakes winner, is that
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
No,
and there's going to be some nice yearlings by McPhee this year through the sales, and to have a stakes winner early, he'd done a good job in the Northern Hemisphere. So.
Yep. Good for Brendan Lindsay too.
Yep. He puts a lot in. He was a big sponsor on the day, so it was System is his company, him and Joe's company, and great that they were able to get a win on the day.
Showboy, who was third in that, heads up the list for the Karaka Million, the order of entry, and here's how it looks. Showboy, Eta Maritimo, Winborn, Del Cello, also China Silks in there. Hardline, jury's out as to whether he will be coming across the Tasman. His run, Butch, in Sydney a couple of days ago was only fair, to say the least. So
it was only fair, wasn't it, on Saturday? Yeah, behind a very good winner. I thought he just sort of plodded. I don't know. I haven't had the opportunity to touch base with Liam Birchley or find out whether or not he's coming, so don't know.
Okay, the one down the bottom there, though, interests me, the Justice League. Probably one of the most impressive 2-year-olds I have seen this season so far. He won on the middle day, of course, as we pick up the coverage, and gee, he was good.
At the 250 metres, Okabari.
Yeah, look, he was super. He's a very, very talented horse. He's untapped. When he got a couple around behind the saddle, he really let go. And if he can get into the race, which is going to be borderline, he's going to be super competitive. He's pretty smart horse.
Yeah, you'll have him? We're doing it. Come on, you having him? We're doing it.
I'm not saying he'll be winning the race, but I'm saying if he can get in, he'll be competitive.
Righto.
Very
Not from one.
competitive.
Not from one.
Okay.
I'll have him over his stablemate, the top qualifier.
Yeah, me too. I'll have Del Cello and Mary.
Del Cello was massive on Boxing Day, wasn't he?
Perrin Candos, flying.
Yeah.
Eh?
Yeah.
Sam Williams is a...
I think it's probably got more
Bruce
depth.
Perry, Bruce
I think the
Perry.
Karaka Million's got more depth than it's had for a long, long time. I would say that. Look, we're talking Maritimo. I mean, she's got to be very, very hard to beat. Del Cello, there's some through the middle that'll be, I reckon it's a very competitive lot.
Can't wait. Cannot wait till the end of the month. Stephen Hunt's back with us to talk about some more of the futures markets. First of all, Stephen, the Oaks, what impact the result of the Royal Stakes?
Yeah, plenty to DA, and there's 2 horses that stand out here in our market. An option 987. Savoia and Vavasaur, who we saw in that footage, dominate that Royal Stakes. They stretched out from the rest of the field. They're now $7 equal favourites on the back of Savoia winning the double, and then Vavasaur, that eye-catching second and behind Savoia. The other movers has been Tavi. You could have got as long as 12 about 7 days ago, but I didn't think she disgraced herself, even though she opened second favourite at $8. She's now at a $10 price. Charmant, who finished in that next bunch in behind Vavasaur and Savoia at a $10 market. And probably should mention number 19, DA Chanel, who caught the eye behind Midnight Magic Man. There's been plenty of interest on Chanel, who hit the line powerfully in that strong special conditions race, the first race of the day on New Year's Day. Could have got as long as around about $51, $61 for Chanel. She is as short as $26 for the Group 1 at Trentford in March.
Okay, what about the City of Auckland Cup and the Dunstan final? What impact on the Auckland Cup coming up in March?
Yeah, still a little bit of a lottery, DA, to be honest. We've got a loose favourite here in Ponderosa Miss, so we all saw a place in the Zibiel Classic at Weight for Age in behind our best horses in the last 12 months. So she was stepping up that day, and she definitely didn't disgrace herself. She basically told that she's class galloper, and the hype around her has been deserved. She's an $8 price. Graphic, who won the Wellington Cup last year, at a $10 price. And you're getting a nice each-way quote for a lot of runners, but a lot to go under the water or under the bridge between now and when the Auckland Cup is run in early part of March. But at the moment, it is a market that's pretty loose with Ponderosa Miss at that $8 favourite price.
Has she been nom for the Thorndon yet?
Not at present, DA. We've got her as a favourite for the Thorndon Mile, which will bring up that market option 988. She's a $7 price, so it's a fairly loose opening quote, considering this race is only about 3 or 4 weeks away. Atacama, who I thought was a little bit disappointing at Ellerslie, at a $9 price. Puccini at $10, ran some honest races as well over the carnival. A Diademe, who was very gutsy, at a $10 price in the Rich Hill Mile. A Pure Champion falls in the same bracket as Ponderosa Miss. Apparently he will late nom when he needs to. He's at a $14 price and will be pretty handy under set weights and penalties conditions. A Mighty Solomon, Kawi and Sancerre, a boom on all three of them, and they've all been very well supported at some stage within the last 6 to 8 weeks. The problem with those three, will they make the field? I'm pretty sure there's obviously some water to go under the bridge with those three runners, in particular at Martin, and also probably the anniversary, 2 races that will qualify for them into that Thorndon Mile. But a nice even spread of money, in which basically reflects the market there for a number of horses that have been very well supported in the Group 1 Mile.
Good on you, Stephen. Thank you. We're going to take a break here on Weigh In. We've got a whole lot more to come. Stay with us.
Up next.